communities. We spoke out against immigration policies that were repressive, and the sheriff charged me and tried to put me in jail.
I applaud what Joe's doing. You've got other folks that have gone to D.C. to get the federal government to interfere with a constitutional officer of the state of Arizona that's enforcing the law. If that's not corruption, I don't know what is.
The Arizona State Legislature has given preliminary approval on the toughest law on immigration in U.S. history. It's one that makes it a felony just to set foot in the state if you're here illegally, and a felony to hire or even to transport someone who's here without documentation, even if they were related to that person. And one of this tough bill's principal supporters, called by some of the toughest sheriff in America, Joe Arpaio, joins us from Phoenix. You know, Joe, welcome. Sheriff, nice to see you. I think, honestly speaking, most of my audience probably agrees with you on this particular issue. But I have to tell you that your bill is unconstitutional. On its face, the federal government has the authority to regulate immigration, not the state government. And what you're trying to do is circumvent the federal government's supremacy on this issue.
Well, first of all, it's a misdemeanor. Second of all, Geraldo, we have inherent authority by the U.S. Attorney General's decision and also by federal decisions throughout the many years that local law enforcement can enforce federal illegal immigration laws. This is just another law that the legislation is passing. We think it hasn't been signed by the governor, and it would just enhance the authority of local law enforcement to do the job that the federal government
How will you establish reasonable cause?
Do it.
How will you establish reasonable cause that someone is trespassing on the state of Arizona? I mean, are you going to stop everybody with a mustache?
No, you mentioned that prior. There is protocols, there are criteria, there is reasonable suspicion that law enforcement uses when they enforce the laws. So that's been proven what I've been doing in the last 3 years. 37,000 illegal aliens we have investigated, detained in this county. So we have survived for 3 years our operations.
Well, you know, you're the kidnapping capital of the country. Violent crime is increasing. People say you're spending too much time enforcing immigration, not paying enough attention to fighting crime. You make no distinction, for example, with your new trespass law between a gangbanger who's here illegally and someone who's picking fruit who's here illegally. Isn't that right?
Well, you know, we're number one in the nation. I don't believe that for kidnappings. If it's true, it's because of the illegal immigration, the drop houses, and so on. We just arrested 111 people. 57 were human smugglers, illegal immigrations, 2 big stops on drugs. Seized drugs,
but drugs
illegal
is good, smugglers
immigration.
Is good. That's real law enforcement.
Okay, that's what we do.
It's going to be illegal to be a Mexican in Arizona.
No, that's not true. You know that. We know that.
Why are 2 grand juries investigating you now for abuse of power and racial profiling?
Well, that's not the grand jury. The Justice Department, after 60 days, Obama administration sent the civil liberties, not the civil liberties.
Aren't you the subject of a grand jury investigation right now, Joe?
Well, you know, I spent 30 years in federal law enforcement, many years as a top federal law enforcement official with the Justice Department. I am not going to comment on any so-called grand jury.
Do you think that Governor Jan Brewer, who is a moderate Republican facing a primary challenge, will sign your bill because of the political pressure on her, or will she, like former Governor Janet Napolitano, now Homeland Security Secretary, veto the bill if it passes and gets on her desk?
Geraldo, it's not my bill. It's the legislation that's passing the bill. And I don't know if the governor's going to sign it. I'm not the governor. She's the governor. Let's see what happens.
And what do you're not going to give me a guess on that?
On whether she signs it? No, I don't know. She may sign it. But you know, if she signs it, I'm going to enforce the law. I'm the law enforcement guy. I lock the people up.
Lock them up for trespassing in your state?
Any violation of the law.
Okay, Joe. All right, thanks. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.